The day, Sunday, February 4th, 1968. The man, Craig Breedlove, holder of the world's land speed record at 600.601 miles per hour. In the 6 seconds it took him to roar through a measured mile on the Bonneville Salt Flats, he became the fastest man on Earth. This is a record of Craig Breedlove's newest assault on the record books. A race against the sun. An attempt to drive a new all-American sports car faster and farther than any light motor vehicle has ever gone in 24 hours. Weeks of preparation, beefing up the body for safety reasons, but no tampering with integral parts. To win a world's record, the cars have to be stock right off the assembly lines. The finishing touches.
How's that?
Final car inspection by the United States Auto Club officials who must sanction all record attempts. Then a date with destiny on a 5-mile banked track in Texas. A roaring start, and the hundreds of seconds start ticking off. 3 hours and nearly 500 miles later, Breedlove watches as one of his co-drivers, Lee Breedlove, wife, mother of 5, tools the family car around at 157 miles an hour. Craig had set a blistering pace in the cool early hours of the morning, and Lee floors it for 2 solid hours. And in the timing shack, the precision equipment clicks off the miles in milliseconds. 2 new records. Another. And international automobile history is being made.
5, 3, 1.
Pit stop. Driver change.
You sit right in there. Very good.
Through the long afternoon. At 6 hours and 48 minutes, a big one falls. Another pit stop. Again, Craig takes over. Thunders on. An endurance run is the ultimate punishment for man and the machine. The best and surest way to evaluate an automobile's performance. American Motors engineers are laying it on the line with the cruelest road test an all-new car ever faced. twilight. Night. And still the pace doesn't slow. Another pit stop by floodlights.
Driver change. Don't you? You're all going to get it anyway. Hey, Davey. Look, I got the fuel pump ticket. Everything's busy. Well, it's running beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Go out at 10 hours and 20 minutes. A minor part fails. Good attempt and a handful of records for Breedlove and the AMX. But the 12-hour was 6,000 heartbeats away. It's all over. Incredibly, Craig Breedlove does not come in. He stays on the track, driving by instinct, letting the car feel its way along the bank at a fantastic inky black 150 miles an hour. A nightmare lap. Another.
The track, turn the headlights on. Let's go.
With a ring of lights from parked cars along the track, Craig Breedlove races on to capture what must be the most gallant 12-hour record ever won.
Would you think he flew or something?
A well-earned pit stop.
Really, huh? We learned a lot today. Didn't we?
A new electrical connection. An all-over check. Out again.
1139.8.
But he doesn't back off. With the blinding early speed, if the car holds together, they can coast home and finish the 24 hours. But the AMX team is out to bust the car or bust the records wide open. Round and round, hour after hour. At dawn, another pit stop. Minutes away now. Seconds away. One more lap. And then Craig Breedlove roars through the electronic breakers one last time for the biggest one of all.
Way to go.
Box score. A fantastic 3,378 miles in 24 hours at an average speed of over 140 miles an hour. 38 miles an hour over the old record. Every Class C record from 25 kilometers to 24 hours. More than 90 new records, American and international, come to America and American Motors and Craig Breedlove. The AMX has won its colors. When they talk about this one, they'll call it the Texas Takeover.
It's been called by some the cruel sport. By others, a new art form. Whichever, the single most important ingredient is pride, never giving up. This is a record of one season of championship motor racing. One proud campaign in the sun. The 1970 Trans Am Championship will be decided here in Kent, Washington on this September 20th, the 10th violent Sunday in a long, long summer. Driver George Fulmer of the Mustang team minutes before the race.
So definitely going down to the wire now. The outcome of the race here at Kent could decide the championship. So it's been a real tight, close series all the way through. We have good competition from the American Motors team. So it's a tremendous series with the cars very, very close and very, very competitive.
What was to be the most exciting season of Trans Am racing yet began 5 months earlier on April 19th in California at Laguna Seca. Veteran crew chief Bud Moore, whose Mustang team was runner-up to the Camaros last year, looks ahead to the 70 season.
Well, I think that this year, with more people enjoying seeing the Trans Am racing on all the road courses, and another thing with all the different manufacturers involved, such as Ford, Chrysler, American Motors, and even Chevrolet and all into the game here when you got 3 or 4 factory teams running against one another. And so you're going to have a lot of good name drivers driving these cars. So
some of the top names in the racing world are here to put their reputations on the line. Parnelli Jones and George Fulmer, tough, experienced Mustang pilots. Mark Donahue, Trans Am champion last year in a Camaro, and Roger Penske, team captain, are out to do it again with 2 brand new Sunoco Javelins. Talented young Peter Revson will back up Donahue. All-American driver Dan Gurney heads up the Barracuda team. Experienced veterans and strong young newcomers here to challenge for the Trans Am crown. John Timanis, tech administrator for the race sanctioning body, the Sports Car Club of America, explains what Trans Am is all about.
Trans Am racing is probably has the best spectator appeal of any type of road racing that the SCCA is involved in, because there's a lot of the spectators can identify with the automobiles. They all look pretty close to what their stock cars look like. The cars are spectacular on the racetrack because they don't go around like they're on a rail. They slide and drift, pick wheels up in the corner. They're really fun to watch.
Laguna Seca is typical of the 11 road circuits of the 1970 season. These are twisting, curving, challenging tracks that sort out the drivers and their machines. The cars are specially prepared stock vehicles with certain sanctioned modifications. The engines are from 2 liters to 305 cubic inches, and the rules state they must start under their own power. The competitors, often 30 or more, line up according to qualifying times. Then thunder on for a running start as the flag drops. Parnelli Jones in his school bus yellow Mustang jumps into the lead. Mark Donahue in an American Motors red, white, and blue Javelin, and George Fulmer in another Mustang followed. They dice for 40 laps. laps and starting far back, threads his way through the pack, only to be nudged out of the race by Sam Posey. Laps over the kinky 1.9-mile track. Jones pushes on, never very far ahead, but Donahue can't close the gap. 1 hour, 52 minutes, 36 seconds, and Mustang draws the first blood of the new season. It's Mustang first, Javelin second, another Mustang third, and Barracuda fourth. Penske and Donahue aren't used to running second. It's Rufus Parnelli Jones who tastes victory number one. Later, Roger Penske evaluates their shakedown rides in the two new Sunoco Javelins.
Well, I think that the big thing we've got to do, we're happy that the car finished. Peter had an unfortunate situation when Sam Posey bumped him in the back and put him into the guardrail and broke a front brake line. Of course, we're not satisfied with running second, but we're looking forward to better success the next race.
May 9th, Lime Rock, Connecticut. Dan Gurney's Barracuda and Mark Donahue's Javelin sit in the coveted front row. Jones powers through to take an early lead. The Javelin, Barracuda, and Camaro press behind. A spin out, but the leaders roar on. Laps, Peter Revsky's engine fails. 4 laps later, Donahue makes his move. But on the next lap, the Mustang passes alone. A blown oil gasket has finished the race for the second Javelin. For the next hour, Parnelli Jones strokes it. He has brake problems, but coasts home for win number 2 ahead of Ed Leslie's Camaro and Sam Posey's Challenger. 2 races into the new season, and it's Mustang clearly ahead on points, with Camaro and Javelin in that order. The weeks pass. Roger Penske and Mark Donohue are professionals. They have real questions about the season ahead. What's the oil pressure problem? Where will the extra horsepower come from? The team redoubles its efforts, searching for a scant 1/10 of a second a lap. Penske Racing has a very determined leader.
At the point we feel we're not the best in the racing business, we'll probably get out. Everyone, no matter who he is or what he is, looks for something that they can be an expert in. We feel that we can be the top team and individuals in the auto racing business.
Later, the third race, Briar, New Hampshire, and 15,000 fans turn out to cheer on the 25 qualifiers lined up on the grid. A grim Mark Donohue is in the 3rd spot behind Jones and Swede Savage, who qualifies first in a Barracuda. They warm up with a slow pace lap around the snaky 1.6-mile course. 2 left turns, 2 rights, 3 hairpins, 3 long sweeps, and a narrow straight to the green flag. Savage sets a blistering pace in the first laps, tracked by the Mustang, Camaro, and Javelin. At 33 laps, Savage cooks his engine and limps in. The leaders seesaw for the next 15 minutes. Halfway through the race, and near tragic, fire in one of the Camaro pits. driver Guy Roy is led to safety. The front runners charge on. It's still anybody's race. George Fulmer in the second Mustang pushes all the way to the lead. He holds it to win, scant seconds ahead of Revson and Donahue in javelins. The early Mustang victories are no surprise to veteran John Timanis.
Well, the series actually started off pretty well the way we expected it to, because with Ford winning the first group of races, because they have the most experience with the automobile they're running. It's a team that's been in existence for 3 or 4 years. They've been running the same automobile for 2 years. They've got it pretty well under control.
June 7th, and Ford's lead time and experience continue to pay off at Mid-Ohio. The Mustangs are still running strong. Jones and Fulmer blister the track to finish 1-2. The fourth loss is etched in Mark Donahue's face. That he cares very much is very apparent. A driver's wife shares his disappointment. Judy Conradieff, an under 2-liter driver herself, comments on the woman's role in racing.
I think some of them really try hard to get into it. They try to understand their men by becoming part of it as close as they can. They do timing and scoring, and they'll help on the car, and they'll talk to their man after he gets out of his car, because he needs this. He really does. It's a very lonely world, very lonely, because he's out there all by himself.
See, a lot of people ask, why
Jim Kaiser, director of professional racing for SCCA.
What's behind racing? What's the motivation?
Because I like to race. I wanted to race 11 years ago, and I guess I've wanted to do it ever since, and that's why I'm still doing it.
Our only attitude is we like to win, and you can't do that overnight, but I would say that if our immediate goal would be to be the best independent.
Just keep trying hard and stay with it, and try to be smooth and run the same kind of lap times every lap.
That sure is fun.
For the Javelin team, the first 4 races haven't been much fun. For the 2 weeks prior to the next race, it's around-the-clock testing, timing, practicing. For Donahue and the Javelins, time is running out. June 21st, race day at Bridgehampton. 13,000 racing buffs turn out to celebrate a summer afternoon. In the closing minutes before the flag, each driver is alone with his thoughts.
Well, I guess like any other driver, I'd like to do well. Here, I'd like to win the race. The thing that worries me the most, and the thing that really has me concerned more than anything else, is the fact that I'm just one guy, and I only get 3 hours to do my share, and it's hard for a guy to try to make up in 3 hours' time for the amount of work that other people have spent. And the heartbreak for me really is a disappointment in the eyes of the people who are on my team, more than the finishing or not finishing that I do.
They're off, and Jones elbows through to dice with Savage through the first lap. Savage pushes the Barracuda faster. And still faster. Then a blown engine, and Savage takes a long, dejected walk home. Now it's between Jones and Donahue. A split second picked up. Closer. And now, finally, the red, white, and blue Javelin flashes ahead. For the first time this season, Donahue smells victory. Rain. A sudden summer storm. But the fans aren't leaving now. The track slicks up, but Donahue rooster tails on. 2 laps to go. The final turn. And the long-awaited checkered flag. George Fulmer, fierce competitor a few seconds earlier, waves a friendly salute on the victory lap.
Competition is very strong. Ford has done an excellent job. They have a good crew and a good car and a good drivers, and they've done admirably well. We're trying to do better.
Mark, you've won quite a few races, but I know this one is very important. Not only did you snap the Mustang string at 4 races, but bringing home Javelin's first victory in the Trans Am Series must really be a thrill for you.
Oh, we're happy. I'm happier actually for my crew and for American Motors, who both have tried extremely hard to do well in the Trans Am, and we've got all the right ingredients. It's just a question of getting our details sorted out, and I don't say that we have them all sorted out yet, but we're certainly making progress, and this will be the best thing that ever happened to my crew at Penske Racing and also at American Motors. It's exceptionally pleasing for me to win here, but that doesn't make it any easier to win the next race in Donnybrook.
The flag drops and the Mustangs grab the lead. Hard-charging Fulmer takes over as Parnelli retires with electrical trouble. Milt Mittner in a Camaro is the surprising leader. Javelin is off the pace with engine trouble. Fulmer, his foot into it, tries to close up, loses it. On the final lap, the crowd comes to its feet. Mittner, taking the short way home, leaves Fulmer an angry second. Camaro earns its first win. Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, May 19th. The 7th Trans Am race coming up. Jones and Fulmer. Savage and Leslie. Posey and Donahue. Donahue pulls to third behind Posey and Jones. Savage is coming on fast. The lead changes 3 times in the first 33 laps. Then 1 hour, 10 minutes through the race. Donahue closes the gap and stays in front for good. Flag, a second win, and things are looking up for Team Javelin.
We have a little saying in Philadelphia that after 12 o'clock the meter goes back to 0, which means it doesn't make it any easier because we won today to win the next one.
2 weeks later, Saint-Jovite, Quebec. Driver Jerry Thompson describes the difficult 2.6-mile circuit.
This track is a very demanding course. It's one of the most unforgiving. As you know, Sweet Savage took 3 laps and made a little mistake and rolled a car up in a ball. This track can do that to you real easy if everything isn't just right. You don't make a mistake here.
So many things are broken on the car. I doubt if we'll ever know what happened for sure. We suspect something broke because the car didn't turn when I turned. It went end over end down the hill about 5 times. I don't think we're hurting here. I think we have a very good handling car, and I think the one other car that is really handling well here seems to be Mark Donahue. And I think it's going to be a heck of a race. I think this circuit is a very demanding circuit. It's rough, and it has 2 or 3 very blind corners, which are prone to having bad accidents. And it's going to be difficult to race here without getting in somebody else's trouble.
The 2 hours and 10 minutes of Saint-Jobit begins under lead-gray skies. Jones, Donahue, Fulmer, Leslie, Savage, Posey, Revson. The race is on. After only 14 laps, the Javelin pits unexpectedly, but it is a part of the Penske plan. Pit early and drive the late laps with a lighter gas load. On lap 28, Mark takes the lead as the others pit. For the next hour and 14 minutes, Javelin shows tailpipes to the field. The third win is decisive. The Penske racing team is coming on strong.
Well, this is, of course, a great day for us. It was a very key race because right now, going into this race, we had 2 wins and Ford had 4, and you've got to have wins in order to win the series. And the car ran it's running now better than it has run any race. It ran strong the whole way. It was a great day, and we're looking forward to Watkins Glen try to make it 4 wins to 4 against Ford.
Watkins Glen and the fans are 30,000 strong. The battle between Mustang and Javelin is no small part of the attraction. Evenly matched, 15 and 6 stay together for almost 45 minutes, and then the rains came. The treacherous, glassy track takes its toll. Craig Fisher, Paul Jett, Warren Ager, Milt Mintner. Even Parnelli Jones is not immune. When the checkered flag drops, Vic Elford is winner. 9 seconds back, Donahue skates home for second. And so, the climax is postponed. There is no decision between Javelin and the Mustangs. The championship will be decided here in the 10th race at Kent, Washington. At the 10th lap, only 2 seconds separate the Mustang and Javelin. On the 18th, it's Donahue ahead. Then Jones. Donahue again leads through lap 56. Jones again takes it. He holds on to win by 19 seconds. The season's jewel is finished. Mustang, a runaway early leader, was almost caught by the determined red, white, and blue team. But today, Mustang wins it all. It's been a long, hard-fought campaign for Parnelli Jones. The Mustang crew's 3-year quest for the championship is over. The season officially closes at Riverside, California. It's a time for reflection, celebration, and planning.
Well, this was an unusual year, and part of it was unusually good. Just a tremendous series of races, I think, this year. We had tremendous success so far as the crowds are concerned. I think the very fact that we had 6 full factory teams out there slugging it out with everything they've got, I think this made the 1970 Trans Am Series, in my mind, undoubtedly the toughest racing going on in the United States and probably in the world today, bar none.
Well, this season has been really one that I guess our whole team won't forget. I guess it took until Bridgehampton when Mark won without any problem. It was in the rain, of course. He's a great rain driver, but it finally proved that we had a car that was competitive and that the Javelin was a winner. I think as we look ahead to next year, we're going to start with a year's full of knowledge, where last year we're starting from scratch, so we're looking forward to next year's season.
This is the end of the 1970 Trans Am Series. Parnelli Jones went right down to the end here and won the Trans Am Series for the Ford Motor Company with George Fulmer. And Peter Revson, Mark Donohue, and American Motors have certainly made second place something to be very proud of also.
This was a tremendous year, an unusually good year, and at this point, of course, we're all kind of relieved but sorry at the same time with those mixed emotions. The series is over. We're certainly looking ahead to next year, and I think just looking back with some great memories of the 1970 Trans Am.
A season of thrills, victory, defeat, and determination. In the best tradition of motor racing, Trans Am 70.
Today, the action is way out, off the road, in open country, deep and wide, out of sight. Four-wheel drive turns on where the trails are tightest. And near Winnemucca, Nevada, huge dunes make fine off-road fun. The Winnemucca Sage Gamblers is a local Jeep club that revels in the mammoth dunes for good, wholesome family sport. They stage their jackpot Jamboree annually. An obstacle course is their first event. Curving, winding, twisting through deep sand. Closely regulated by official timers in individually timed heats. Man and machine pitted against the clock in a gigantic natural sandbox. Exciting racing, great recreation. People put it all together, all kinds of people. Families who come to enjoy watching the action, and drivers who get in on it. Drag races on a flat sand strip test one entry versus another. The skills of competing drivers
performance of four-wheel drive rigs precisely prepped to make it big in sand. Tenths of a second count critically. Get away fast. Go all out, head to head. But the hill climb needs a different plan. Topping the dune is the simple, clear-cut objective. The only complication, soft, hub-deep sand. Innocent looking, treacherous handling. Four-wheel drive traction carries the load when everything else is right. But as the starting run shortens and the hill steepens, each vehicle driver team finds a performance limit, and the jackpot Jamboree finds its winners. At the Mint 400, winning is something else. Sponsored by Reno's Mint Hotel, the 400 attracts on the grand scale. Large crowds, hundreds of entries, and the top off-road race drivers in the country. Dune buggies and motorcycles run in separate classes. But four-wheel drive and all other classes tackle the same course. They cope with the same dust, the same desert hazards, the same exhausting trails. Stretching approximately 50 miles in a vaguely oval pattern, the route extends over trackless Nevada wasteland that soon exacts its toll in disabled vehicles. Desolate land, never before touched by wheels, offers formidable obstacles. Trouble spots crop up with crushing regularity to block vehicles, but usually help is on hand soon to try to get things moving again. Four times around the course each day for 2 days, 400 miles. Racing for shortest elapsed time keeps the pressure building on drivers and vehicles as they thread their way through desert fastness. Staying power, stamina, team effort, the will to win. Everything comes into play in off-road racing. Approaching darkness adds another peril to the race. But the urge persists. Go one more mile. Get past one more problem. Finish one lap, begin another. For some, finishing looks impossible, but they make it. For others, finishing comes later. Refueling is important now. But to the winner, the checkered flag is the happy ending. To dust, to heat, to rough going. As in any races, crowds love a winning team in off-road events. The driver, co-driver, and vehicle. The right combination wins the big ones. The right combination helps even when the stakes are smaller. Four-Wheelerama, a family weekend bash for four-wheeling buffs in Pennsylvania. Draws crowds for Eastern-style events. A ball race starts things. Take it away. Looks simple enough. Then return and replace it. Handling the rig smartly to reach the finish line. But this is only one kind of competition. Others are natural to this locale. Officials make sure of safety. Drivers take on the classic hill climb. A steep slope for the initial assault. Up and over. then race up a wooded trail and the finish. Wooded trails attract four-wheeling families relaxing after the day's competition. But there's always another hill, just for fun. Action-minded crowds like the obstacle course almost as much as the drivers. This one adds some man-made hazards for an extra wrinkle. But entries must make it through all the rough going. Four-wheelers like to win, and whether they're east or west seems to make little difference. They go all out in the east as well as in the west. The Riverside Grand Prix, annual four-wheel championships, begin and end with a splash. Santa Ana River floods leave treacherous pools and slick straightaways to navigate. The double figure-8 course totals 5 miles, all of it demanding every driving skill. All crowd-pleasing, all plotted for straining vehicles and drivers to the limit. Ruts through soft sand, tracks around trees and brush. The course never lets up. But neither do the competitors. They meet each other in single elimination heats, each in class, cheered by the crowd. Dune buggies run in separate heats for class eliminators, chewing up the wet sand and tortuous path easily and methodically. Experimental machines like the Baja Boot show the stuff they were designed to do. Running hard through choppy ground, or on the long straights. Some experimental models don't have it, and some others have troubles getting through. But the whole elimination system is set up to decide an ultimate winner. On a course like this, every entry has winning within reach. Roaring through for the second lap, there's no let up at any point. No time to relax. Running the final heats climaxes this fast-paced off-road speed weekend. Lap after lap at this constant pace requires an exceptional margin of ruggedness. The toughness of specially prepared vehicles and carefully conditioned drivers. And the final win is a solid accomplishment. Prizes await the successful winning efforts. Trophies and large crowds of faithful fans. Fans are a vital part of four-wheeling everywhere. And the Sandorama at Benton Harbor, Michigan provides them an event of yet another variety. Drag races against the clock, scaled to a short flat strip and open to all four-wheelers. Divided into classes by engine size, vehicles are rigged for sand. Drivers exploit their pet ideas for increasing traction. Owners install the latest in special accessories for faster times. But the Michigan four-wheelers give spectators a special charge with a powder puff derby. Women drivers, the distaff side of the four-wheeling scene, get a chance to practice on the compact layout, curling in and out through difficult dunes. Male co-drivers coach female entries on their trial circuits. Vehicle handling in sand taxes any driver, but the women at the Sandorama take it in stride, subduing obstacles and hazards with gritty determination. Virtually every point on the course holds the chance for error or mishap or potential trouble. And some mixed teams get slightly shaken up. But damage is minor and competitive spirit prevails. Powder puff participants make a rousing race of it, keeping spectator interest along the course, giving the men something to equal. Four-wheel drive matched against stubborn terrain, made to order for action-loving fans and rewarding fun for winners and losers alike. Four-wheeling action comes in unlimited variety. It's geared to the location and the people wanting a part of it. It places premiums on resourcefulness and gives each individual a shot at mastering incredible driving demands. Against each other or individually racing the clock. On long hauls or short ones. Action events are making believers of growing numbers of off-road vehicle owners and enthusiasts for way out action. Out of sight.
Rapidly approaching that time of the year when millions of people will be shopping for new cars. Prospective buyers will be trying on all makes and models for size, for style, for performance. American Motors will be seeking its share of an estimated 9.5 million new car market during the coming model year. Let's have a closer look at our cars for 1971, the markets in which they fit, the people who'll be buying them, and the competition. We'll start with the Hornet. Who will be buying the 1971 Hornet? Using as a source the National New Car Buying Study, our marketing research department arrived at the following facts. The greatest percentage of Hornet prospects will fall between the ages of 45 to 54 and 55 to 64, 23% in each group. However, the younger buyers, 25 to 34, are only 4 percentage points below at 19%. This indicates a very wide spectrum of buyers for the Hornet. Rating new car buyers by annual income. The average Hornet prospect will be in the $8,300 bracket. And he will have had approximately 12.5 years of education. To give us some basis for comparison, the education of the Hornet buyer is slightly above that of the average Chevy Nova customer, for example. Where are Hornet buyers found? Where do they live? Where do they work? Where do they play? Mostly they dwell in suburbs. 75% are married, most with small families. They work in factories or small businesses, though some are in offices in the inner city. Their principal recreations are bowling, golf, and fishing. The wives go to beauty parlors and shop in supermarkets. In short, Hornet prospects are average people. What do Hornet buyers look for in a car? What do they need? What do they want? Hornet prospects will look for a price. They also want economy of operation, a car that will be inexpensive to maintain, that will run on regular gas. Hornet shoppers will seek value for money spent, with exterior styling and roominess as added considerations. Now the key question. Why would these buyers purchase the Hornet instead of its prime competitor, the Maverick? Hornet buyers will choose over the Maverick simply because the Hornet can give them more than competition. How about this for openers? The 1971 Hornet Sportabout, an industry-exclusive body style in the compact class. This is a new car in every possible sense of the word. new in concept, a slant-back sedan wagon competition cannot offer. Only you have the Hornet Sportabout. The four-door Sportabout has the styling of a sedan, plus the function of a wagon. Its dimensions make this ideal all-purpose transportation for the one-car family and a welcome working addition for 2 or 3 car owners. The Sportabout's rear liftgate adds a practical touch that makes this car unique in its field. And such optional items as color-keyed wood grain side and rear panels, full-length roof rack, and the liftgate air deflector, which keeps the rear window dirt-free, gives the Sportabout a definite competitive edge. The wood grain paneling, roof rack, air deflector, and special wheel covers will be offered as a special Sportabout package. Standard features include the new Space Saver spare, mounted vertically in the right rear corner, and a large hidden compartment storage space beneath the cargo floor. For the owner who wants to customize his Sportabout, a sports decor group is available and includes infinitely variable reclining seats with Serape fabric trim, full-length paint stripe, turbocast wheel covers, and C78 by 14 twin-line white wall tires. The all-new 1971 Hornet Sportabout, the split personality car. There is simply nothing in its class with which to compare it. The base Hornet for 71, however, will have the Ford Maverick as its chief competition. Let's see how it stacks up. First of all, the Hornet wheelbase is 1 inch shorter than the Maverick 4-door, but a full 5 inches longer than the Maverick 2-door. The Hornet is a heavier, more substantial automobile than the Maverick. 162 pounds advantage, plus 2 inches wider tread, front and rear, give our car better handling characteristics, more crosswind stability. The 71 Hornet is a roomier, more comfortable car than the Maverick, especially in all-important rear seat leg and hip room. The Hornet offers its buyers 5 more inches of passenger leg room and over 8 more inches of hip room than does the Maverick, a very good selling point. In addition, our car rides 5 passengers in comfort. The Maverick 2-door holds only 4. The 71 Hornet's fuel tank is 2 gallons larger than Maverick's, and its luggage compartment is about a cubic foot roomier. And the new Sportabout has 58.3 cubic feet of cargo space with the rear seat folded down, plus 3.8 cubic feet in the hidden compartment. The Hornet 232 cubic inch engine is the largest standard engine in its class, 62 cubes larger than Maverick's 170 standard power, another strong selling argument against competition. The base Hornet is a lot of car for the compact buyer who is looking for more than his money suggests. The new front end appearance gives the car a richer look, with added silver horizontal lines on the grille. The inside story in the 1971 Hornet starts with new upholstery and continues with the relocation of the armrest, now 3 inches to the rear, in a more useful, more comfortable position. New high-back front seats are standard on both the 2- and 4-door base sedans. And a new color-keyed finish has brought an improved appearance to the entire instrument panel. Also new is a louver for the adjustable high-level vent, an improvement in both air volume and directional control. A smaller steering wheel gives the owner more thigh room, and a new, smaller brake pedal size affords more foot room. Joining the Sportabout as the second all-new attraction in the Hornet line for 1971 is the SC360, a 2-door performance model that offers performance equipment at a price Hornet buyers can't afford. The SC360 gets its name from its standard 362-barrel engine and high-level SST trim. Unique front-to-rear deck rally stripes are standard. Other sellable standard items on the SC360 are D70 by 14 black polyglass tires and new slot-style wheels, as well as a 3-speed all-synchromesh floor shift. Automatic column shift and 4-speed floor shift are options. Adding to the strong performance image of the SC360 is a functional hood scoop, particularly appealing to those buyers in the 25 to 34 age bracket, who will also dig the special optional Go package put together for the SC360. The addition of the Sportabout and SC360 to last year's model lineup brings the total Hornet models up to 6 for 71. The power teams add up as follows. In looking over Hornet power, it will be noted that the 199-1 barrel 6 has been dropped, and the 232, a base option last year, is now standard. Also, the 258-1 barrel 6 replaces the 232 2-barrel. The 362 barrel and 4-barrel V8s are new for the SC360 only. Hornet, or 71, featuring the new Sportabout, the new SC360, and the best base vehicle value in the industry. The introduction of the 1 Series, high line level Matador is expected to produce a rising bullish market for 1971. As we saw in the motion picture earlier today, the Matador is truly a stylish automobile with a lot going for it this year. The Matador fits neatly into the market for which it was intended. A market that has been virtually forgotten by the other manufacturers, the family man. Competitive intermediates have, without exception, gone the youth route, with emphasis on speed and performance. They seem to have overlooked the fact that there are buyers not particularly interested in those qualities. To absorb this unprotected segment of the market, we took a family car and made it glamorous. We built a family room on wheels, with more size, more room, more comfort than Chevelle, Torino, and Satellite. Referring to the 1969 National New Car Buyer Study, 58% of the market for the Matador is over 40, and this is one segment we will be concentrating on, emphasizing the style and family comfort the Matador offers to intermediate buyers. There is no reason why a family car can't have style as well as comfort. The 71 Matador is a smart-looking car, with an all-new, longer front-end design from the windshield forward. The wheelbase has been increased 4 inches. At 118 inches, this is the longest wheelbase in the intermediate class. The Matador is a full 7 inches longer overall, improved in appearance, in ride, and comfort. There is a lot of new to talk about with this car, with more of the standard features a buyer looks for in a family car. A new grille and headlight housings, new bumpers and front park and turn lights, new front fenders, new hood and cowl air intake panel, new exterior ornamentation. The Matador wagon for 1971 fully reflects the high-line features found in the hardtop. In addition, the wagon includes new items of its own, such as color-keyed wood grain side panels which pick up and highlight the car color, a highly attractive option. The roof rack is also optional for the Matador series. Incorporated into the Matador wagon for 1971 is a new tailgate air deflector, an optional item that helps to keep the rear window clean, as well as a new adjustable air shock rear suspension option for heavy loads and trailering. Interior upholstery is also new for 71 and introduces the exciting Serape fabric custom trim as an option for all Matador hardtops. The instrument panel padding has been placed lower this year, adding to driver visibility. And a new headlight delay system that automatically turns off the lights after 2 minutes is just one of many Matador availabilities. The rear brakes for the Matador wagon are bigger and wider, increased from 10 by 1 3/4 inches to 10 by 2 1/2 inches, resulting in better car stops. There are 13 power teams available for the 1971 Matador, with 6 engines and 4 transmissions. The 258 1-barrel 6 replaces the 232 2-barrel 6, and the big 401 4-barrel V8 replaces a 390 4-barrel V8. All manual transmissions are full synchromesh. These are the Matadors, a high-line series priced to fit a family budget, ready and waiting to horn in on the Fairlane Chevelle market in 1971. We can truthfully label this next section Success Story, because since the Gremlin was introduced on April 1st, it has been one of the most readily accepted new cars in the history of the industry. We're off and running strong with our mini-car entry, and we've already made a dent in the big 1 million unit import market. Now, however, we will have to accelerate our sales thrust, because there are other domestics coming into the picture, ready to take their swipes at the VW and other imports. Now we have the Ford Pinto and GM's Vega in the running. Chrysler's R car may join the pack in September 1971. But we've got a 6 months jump on competition and expect to increase our lead in the subcompact market. Our 6-month jump has given us a greater insight into that market, and this is what extensive research has revealed. The typical Gremlin buyer is young, with a median age about 33. He enjoys a higher income of over $10,000 per year, and 64% of those interviewed were multiple car families. 35% had some college education, 17% were graduates, another 17% were postgraduates. Their reasons for choosing the Gremlin were not much different than the normal reasons: unique style, low price, and economy of operation. However, in almost every instance, the Gremlin was chosen because it was fun to drive. Checking the Gremlin against its new competitors, we find that its 96-inch wheelbase falls between the 94-inch wheelbase of the Pinto and Vega's 97-inch wheelbase. The Gremlin's overall length is less than that of either the Ford or GM entry. There is very little difference in the height of the three cars, but Gremlin's wider stance gives it the edge on stability and handling. Those qualities are further emphasized by the great curb weight advantage Gremlin has over the Pinto and Vega. Since you don't tamper with success, the 71 Gremlin has not changed body style for the coming model year. However, since it's always possible to improve, many new features have been added for the 71 Gremlin, many of which cannot and will not be matched by competition. The 71 Gremlin will be the most colorful mini-car on the road, with a wide spectrum of new colors from which to choose. Dual pinstripes are standard, rally stripes optional. The Gremlin will also feature many of the new items found on the larger cars in the 1971 line, such as a more useful and comfortable armrest, positioned 3 inches rearward, the smaller brake pedal size for added footroom, available with automatic transmission, the smaller steering wheel for more driving comfort, and the new optional liftgate air deflector for a cleaner rear window. Another feature competition will not have: new high-intensity headlights with the innovative guard glow benefit. In the event of a burnout, the headlights will continue to glow. But when it comes to power, the 71 Gremlin takes no guff from the Pinto, the Vega, or any car in its class. In addition to a new standard 232 cubic inch 6, which was an option, a new engine, the largest 6 in the industry, has been added: the optional 258 cubic inch 6. A new floor shift, all synchromesh transmission, is also available now, and the shift command automatic transmission with column shift remains optional. Compare Gremlin power with the new subcompact entries, and it is no contest. The VW stays mini-powered with its 97 cubic centimeter engine. We have further improved our best seller with new upholstery, an improved alternator and voltage regulator, a new shoulder belt hookup and stowage, new optional custom wheel covers, and new rear side marker lights. Gremlin for 1971, retaining all the fun-to-drive features that made it the big success it has been since April the 1st. Improved with many additions to make it the most attractive, most saleable subcompact in the industry. The Ambassador comes into the 1971 model year with a built-in history of satisfied buyers. Continuing car buyer research revealed that 48% of all Ambassador buyers in 1969 expressed complete satisfaction with their cars, a higher percentage of totally satisfied owners than such glamour automobiles as Cadillac, Chrysler, Imperial, and Lincoln. Model designations have been upgraded throughout the series, with the DPL now your base vehicle, the SST in the middle replacing the DPL in that spot, and the Brougham at the high end of the line. Customers, whether repeat or first owners, will be buying the 1971 Ambassador for the same reasons as always. More value for the money, luxurious size and roominess, quality of construction and durability, and a comfortable ride second to none in the standard car class. The majority of all Ambassador prospects fall into the more mature age categories, with a higher income than Hornet and Matador buyers. Chief competition for the 71 Ambassador will come from standard-size Fords, Plymouths, and Chevrolets, with the latter coming in with an all-new body and wheelbase increased from 119 to 121.5 inches. However, the Ambassador sedan and hardtop wheelbase is still the longest in the standard size class at 122 inches. New improvements for 1971 include a heavier, more substantial-looking grille and headlight housings, plus rubber-padded front bumper guards, a brand-new standard feature. And all-new exterior ornamentation, featuring new lines on the rocker panel molding of SSTs and Broughams. For all Ambassador sedans and hardtops, new rear side marker lights, tail lights, and backup lights. There's a new interior look throughout the entire series, with all new upholstery and smarter-looking door trim panels. Burled walnut instrument panel ornamentation add a rich new look to SST and Brougham interiors. And air conditioning remains one of the most important and saleable Ambassador standard features, still a first and only in the industry. There is much that is new and improved for Ambassador wagons in 1971. New color-keyed wood grain side and rear panels with the side panels spear-shaped on the Brougham are standard for the Highline wagon as well as the SST with optional two-tone. An improved suspension assures a smoother, more comfortable ride. And new, wider rear brakes provide quicker, surer stops for Ambassador station wagons. The new tailgate air deflector is standard on the Brougham, an option for the SST, and improved automatic transmissions are now standard for all Ambassadors. With new emission control systems, American Motors engines for 1971 can now run on the new low or non-leaded fuels. New lower ratios allow efficient operation on lower octane gas on all engines except the new 401 V8. The Ambassador model lineup remains the same, but there are significant changes in the power teams you have to offer. The 258-1 barrel 6 replaces the 232 barrel 6. The 401 4-barrel V8 replaces the 394 barrel V8. The shift command column shift is a new standard feature for the 258-6 and continues standard for the 304 V8. The Ambassador series for 71, luxury at low cost. The cars found to be completely satisfactory by 48% of all Ambassador buyers in 1969. Satisfaction spells repeat sales. Having had a good hard look at the Hornet, the Matador, the Gremlin, and the Ambassador series for 71, it is now time to pin down the facts on the new Javelin. Again, using the 1969 new car buyer study as our source, this is what we learned about prospective Javelin customers. The average Javelin buyer is young, with 62% under 35. Average income around $10,400, 75% male, but there is a 25% female market upon which secondary emphasis can be placed. 59% are young marrieds, and 37% are in the swinging single set. Their reasons for buying a sporty, compact-sized car reflect the age and income pattern. Sporty, streamlined, with its style. small package size, price and trade-in value, which, incidentally, checked out to be 2 or 3 times more important among Javelin buyers, and finally, performance. The primary appeal of the all-new 1971 Javelin certainly satisfies buyer preference: unique sporty styling, small size, affordable price, and good trade-in value, with performance to spare. Javelin's primary competitor for sporty compact sales in 1971 will be the Mustang. Let's see how well we meet competition head-to-head. First, we have added a new model to the 71 Javelin series. The AMX joins the SST at the high end of the Javelin line, which has an all-new appearance inside and out. The wheelbase has been increased from 109 to 110 inches, with a slight increase in length. The 1971 Javelin has been widened by 4 inches and reduced in height by 1 inch. The front tread remains the same as last year, but the rear track has been extended 3 inches. All these alterations have been made in the interest of improved appearance. All new exterior styling is highlighted by sculptured fender panels, with raised sections around the tires, giving the car a strong, gutsy look, and a twin canopy roof panel with a rear spoiler lip for sportier styling. High style is further enhanced by the fast-sloping sculptured hood and a full-span grille opening with inset grille frame. The star of the Javelin series for 1971, the AMX, has so many great new exterior features that it's hard to know where to start, and most of them are standard. There's the unique fiberglass plastic hood with raised profile to the windshield, standard. Functional air scoops under the bumper to aid brake cooling, standard. And the functional rear deck ducktail spoiler, fiberglass plastic, again standard. Even the new E70 by 14 white lettered polyglass tires and slot style wheels, extra cost items on most cars, are standard for the AMX. For the buyer who wants class extras, there are such goodies as functional cowl air carburation induction and a unique hood T-stripe decal, both available with the optional Go package, and the functional lower front spoiler, an AMX option for 71. Additional new features for the Javelin series include a new curved cockpit instrument panel, burled walnut on the SST, engine turned on the AMX, and new rally pack instruments, ammeter and oil pressure gauges to replace the warning lights, the tic-tac combination tachometer and clock, and a 140 miles per hour speedometer replacing the 120, all optional. The new sports console for automatic or manual transmission is standard for the AMX, available as an option for the base vehicle and the SST. All Javelins will feature the new guardrail door structure, giving the owner stronger safety support in the event of side impact. Another new standard for the Javelin is the thermostatically controlled weather eye heating system. A new higher capacity all-season air conditioning system is offered as an option. Optional on all Javelin V8s are new ventilated rotor manual or power front disc brakes. A new heavier duty clutch is standard with the optional 4-speed transmission and on the standard 3-speed 360 AMX. 6 engines and 4 transmissions provide the Javelin buyer with a choice of 15 power teams, the most in the engine line. The 258 1-barrel 6 is an added option for the base and SST models. The 401 4-barrel V8 is a replacement for the 390 4-barrel. The 360 4-barrel and the 401 4-barrel V8s are also part of the optional Go packages for the new AMX model. All manual transmissions are full synchromesh. The 1971 Hornet, Matador, Gremlin, Ambassador, and Javelin. 5 excellent reasons why the American Motors line for 1971 is the finest and most complete in our entire history.
Mark Donahue, age 35, graduate engineer, Brown University, class of 59. Probably the most complete race driver in the world today. Roger Penske, age 35, graduate Lehigh University, also class of 59, and the other half of the Penske-Donahue team. The American Motors Javelin, 304 cubic inch V8 engine, tough, experienced, fast, and the car to beat in the Trans Am Challenge. The schedule reads like the stops on the Long Island Railroad. Lime Rock, Laconia, Lexington, Elkhart Lake, Saint-Jovie, Watkins Glen, and Irish Hills. For Mark Donahue, who finished second in today's race, it's been just another long day. But for George Fulmer, who finished first, it's been a long, happy one. Even though on the racetrack, Donahue and Fulmer are fierce competitors, off the racetrack, they're the best of friends. And even though at this point in the 10-race series, Fulmer is ahead 2 victories to 1, there's always next time. And for Mark Donahue, that's all that matters. June 20th, Edmonton, Donahue and Penske. A victory today, and it's all even. 2-2.
Cars chasing cars, playing tag, finding holes, coming in, gassing up, spinning out. Men playing games with their lives in a race against time. They can't run it out.
First Donahue, then Fulmer. Then Fulmer, then Donahue. The lead changes 7 times in the first 50 miles. While in the pits, the competition is just as fierce, and perhaps even more dangerous.
But one thing in mind, and that's just to win.
75 laps, 188 miles. But when it's all over, the 10-race series is dead even. Fulmer 2, Donahue 2. The next 3 races are also won by the Donahue-Penske Javelin team. An almost incredible 5 out of 7, with only 3 races to go.
Pretty girls in pretty dresses, playing games with all the boys. Looking notes but hoping yeses. Some glances being coy. Some are winners, some are losers. Some are swingers, some are nice. Some are pickers, some are choosers. Some are cats and some are mice. Oh yeah.
2,117.51 miles of racing from Lime Rock, Connecticut to Riverside, California. 10,872 left turns, 12,107 right turns, 10 races, 7 victories, and for Donahue, Penske, and Javelin, a most impressive answer to the Trans Am Challenge.
Final briefing. Instructions at the staging area. Then we top off the tanks of 35 vehicles while dawn casts a glow over Placerville, California. An early start with everything ready. And our long line of Jeep vehicles heads east toward the high Sierras. Destination, Lake Tahoe, the hard way, over the mountains. Once known as Hangtown, Placerville lies along this former stagecoach route from the Tahoe area. Sunup has a chilly bite at highway speeds, a nip that encourages our crisp pace. A few minutes out for breakfast, and we'll be ready to take on the rugged off-road country ahead. Only a little more highway as we penetrate the high country forests. But civilization already feels remote. And we've just left the smooth, easy roads. From here on, it's strictly rough going. No quarter asked by men or machines. None given by some of nature's harshest, most forbidding lands. From here, the route takes us 23 miles to Lake Tahoe, 8 or 9 hours if we have no serious mishaps. On the expressways, we could make it under 2 hours. But getting off the road is what we're aiming for. Getting back to where it all started, with the vehicles that started it. That's the whole idea. Ever since World War II, Jeep trails have sparked the interest of four-wheel drive enthusiasts. People moved by the challenge of our most remote terrain. Four-wheeling adventurers attracted to big country that only four-wheel drive can handle. This Jeep trail has become one of the most challenging and notorious of them all. We're not racing, nor running a test. This trip is a corporate effort, part of a company program with every level of four-wheeling ability and experience represented. And in the classic tradition of four-wheel drive recreation, it's a trek through some of the most unforgiving mountains to be found anywhere. Obstacles of infinite variety mark the route. Boulders, ruts, trees, rock walls, and ledges. Tricky, demanding situations come at the driver relentlessly. And the strain of arduous hours of jarring ride takes its toll. Although some troubles are expected, flat tires are really only a nuisance. And natural beauty all along the way more than compensates for such problems. As the morning goes on, keeping our caravan close together on the trail becomes impossible. Difficult areas take time. Troubles cause delays. Stops are necessary as the trail gets harder and the sun gets hotter. Gradually, there are longer intervals between vehicles. But we can't leave anyone stranded, so it's most important that we keep track of everyone. We have to be ready for any emergency, and with a small helicopter, we can check constantly to be sure that everyone is moving along in good shape. If anything serious happens on the ground, it's only minutes until we reach the scene from the air. In country as formidable as this, it's foolish to take unnecessary chances. Drivers making their way through, whether experienced or not, soon realize the value of the cautious approach. Tightly confined areas hemmed in by unyielding rock faces test every driver's skill and might even make him wish he had picked another route. On the other hand, the alternate often leads to just as many obstructions. Getting through safely and surely is everyone's aim. But the sticky question of which way is the best can only be truly answered after all the vehicles come through. In the heat of the action, the decision is made, and we keep moving. Low route or high one. In any case, there's no turning back. And once we're up, we have to come down. Nerves tighten. Control becomes extra deliberate. A small error in judgment could spell mishap. Slowly, carefully, think before every move. Let it down easy and stay out of trouble. In spite of thorough precautions, a little outside help is the only solution in some extreme situations. Each one waits his turn here. No rush, no pressure, as few distractions as possible. A good way to learn is to observe, and watching someone else successfully negotiate a troublesome stretch like this can be just the key to handling it right. The urge to leave the vehicle may be overwhelming, but there's no use being hasty. Each driver sees the trail differently. Each comes through differently. But there's hardly a one who isn't relieved to make it over an especially bad area without getting banged up or hung up. Some fairly easy-to-handle spots take the edge off the excitement along the way. Places that lift the strain and let driver and passenger relax a few moments. And relaxing is what four-wheeling is all about. Being out in country touched only by the elements for millions of years. Moving along confidently at a safe pace, attentive to operating the vehicle. And at the same time, able to absorb the spectacular scenery in every direction. a jolt or a jounce now and then. But bumps that are well worth it when such unbelievable grandeur spreads out on every side. Real speed is impossible anyway, but it becomes downright undesirable in conditions like this. Slower than even the worst Sunday driver, steady progress is the practical way to manage the true four-wheel drive overland trek. Far better to push along at a leisurely rate, taking turns and obstacles in stride, because a large portion of four-wheel drive enjoyment springs from the satisfaction of accomplishment, from bringing self and vehicle through without a scratch. Landmarks pinpoint our headway, and a familiar thing like our ever-present standby helicopter taking off routinely overhead, gradually dropping gracefully into the valley, leaves little doubt that there is plenty of distance to go. Nearly lost against the vastness of the landscape, our caravan traverses a monolithic granite slab, buffed and smoothed by thousands of years of weathering. After inching through places barely wide enough for these vehicles, this has the wide-open feel of an expressway. But the route still leads into craggy, rugged tracks that almost tear the wheel from the driver's hands. Makes us wonder how much longer man and rig can last. Continuous pounding, persistent racking motion, constant shaking and bouncing, seemingly endless bumps. And then relief. A roaring fire, lunch sizzling on the grill under the expert hand of a Western-style chef. Food ready and waiting, prepared by members of the Jeep Herders Jeep Club. Delectable food that seems too good to be true so far from civilization. But it does the job on ravenous appetites. Food and a spot to sit quietly. No violent vehicle motion. A chance for nerves to unwind, muscles to relax, tensions to fade away. But there are still miles of magnificent four-wheel drive territory to go. Miles that almost look more rugged than any we've seen. From Buck Island Lake, where we paused for lunch, we point our four-wheeling group toward the sluice box, just a short way from the lake. Its long approach affords an incomparable vista of this untamed land as drivers wait in line to edge into the tight, rock-lined slot. It's all downhill from here to the sluice box, an apt name from gold prospecting days, for this rough, rocky, and slow-going trough.
The spot coming up is the kind that lets you through, grudgingly, if you're careful. The caravan maneuvers its way through this fascinating trail to Rubicon Springs. And there it's time to regroup, a chance for a break. By this hour of the afternoon, long stops are a luxury we can hardly afford. The distances are deceiving, and it's easy to see that these trails would be impossible after dark. Pulling out again, our caravan begins one last, long, steady climb. A narrow, dusty road through the high country woods and brush. At first, the headway is easy, and we keep the caravan together. But obstacles have a way of extending the interval between our vehicles. And we're only able to push on slowly through these tight little places. At Observation Point, a well-known vantage spot along this route, we're nearly to the top. A natural place for another brief pause. Once we're up this far, we have most of the trail, the hardest part, behind us. Not much farther to go. The ride is mostly on smoother dirt roads, winding through wooded areas. A quiet mountain lake brings a cooling effect after the heat and dust of the afternoon. And we leave the trail with a splash. It's been a long, ambitious trek, an experience in off-road driving like no other in the world, and an enterprise for men and vehicles not soon to be forgotten. Back on smooth highway, we head for Lake Tahoe. Glistening Emerald Bay, with its breathtaking grandeur, is an especially welcome sight. But to a tired bunch of freshly convinced four-wheel drive enthusiasts, the glitter of South Tahoe means the final stop, the place to park these incredible four-wheeling vehicles for the last time and wind up a uniquely satisfying day of adventure in the high Sierras. A one-of-a-kind fun and excitement event, the Sierra Jamboree.
American Motors Gremlin is the little economy car that doesn't economize on the engine because it's the only one with 6 cylinders, not 4.
Oh, no, you don't.
So while the Gremlin is small enough to get you into tight spots,
I didn't realize.
it's powerful enough to get you out of them. And only American Motors makes this promise. The buyer protection plan backs every 73 car we build, and we'll see that our dealers back that promise. AMC Gremlin.
Hey, Jeff. Come on over here for a second.
What's up?
Look in there.
Pants.
Oh, wow, a car with pants.
Introducing the Levi's Gremlin with seats of the pants.
Look at this.
Horn stitching and buttons. It's even got the Levi's tab on the front seat.
The rest is pure gremlin. Styling, economy, 6-cylinder engine, and it's backed by the buyer protection plan. Levi's Gremlin, the car that wears the pants. At your AMC dealer.
The car isn't bad either.
Introducing the 1973 Hornet hatchback, a tough, new, sporty compact built by American Motors. Nothing disturbs the flight of the Hornet. The big standard engine makes it fly. You'd never believe the Hornet hatchback was an economy car, but it is. And when the back seats fold down, there's over 23 cubic feet of cargo space. And only American Motors makes this promise. The buyer protection plan backs every 73 car we build, and we'll see that our dealers back that promise. American Motors Corporation. We back them better because we build them better. This is the American Motors Matador. Dollar for dollar, the Matador gives you more hip room, more rear seat leg room, and a bigger trunk than any other car of its class. And only American Motors makes this promise. The buyer protection plan backs every 73 car we build, and we'll see that our dealers back that promise. So if you want to get from point A to point B with as little trouble as possible, have we got a car for you? AMC Matador. Introducing one of the best-kept secrets in Detroit.
Follow that car. Which car? The Matador. Right. What's a Matador?
Mr. Herb Kepke, you have just won the grand prize for 1973 Matador. Mr. Kepke, do you have anything to say?
Yes, what's a Matador?
The white Matador, please. Right. Sir, what's a Matador?
The Matador is an American Motors car with more hip room, more rear seat leg room, and a bigger trunk than any other car of its class. And only American Motors makes this promise. The buyer protection plan backs every 73 car we build, and we'll see that our dealers back that promise.
Hey, Artie, what kind of car was that?
That's a Matador.
Oh, so that's a Matador.
American Motors Corporation. We back them better because we build them better. This is the American Motors Ambassador. It comes standard with air conditioning, automatic transmission, power steering, power disc brakes, a V8 engine, white sidewall tires, a radio, tinted glass all around, and American Motors buyer protection plan. Everything you probably want on a car comes standard. Well, almost everything. And that will install free. AMC Ambassador.
Additionally, starting in January, a campaign to build the image of the AMC dealer will begin with 50 spots per week running nationally. Here are some examples of those commercials.
AMC dealers present their best advertisement.
I've dealt with other car companies before, like you say, and you go back to have some work done on it, and they hem-haw around, the job's not done right. But American Motors is a dealer in Tacoma. There's been no problems at all. You simply call them on the phone, they give you an appointment, you shoot the car down there, and when they say they're going to have it all night, and you get a loaner, you get a loaner. And I've gotten loaners from other companies before, too, and the loaner should have been in the junk heaps. But American Motors is providing you with a good loaner. I've had a Gremlin, nice big Ambassador, which is a heck of a fine car. And they just don't pawn anything off on you. And they do the job right. And this is what impresses me. American Motors is a dealer, and they do one heck of a job for you.
You have just seen our best advertisement, our customers. AMC dealers, where you get a good deal, and a good deal more. AMC dealers present their best advertisement.
When we went into the American Motors dealership in San Francisco, He was a nice guy, treated us, you know, nice. We had a special problem in that we were trading in 2 cars instead of just the one. And he had the cars all cleared through the banks and everything, gave us a real good trade-in and a real good deal. I mean, there wasn't any high-pressure salesmanship or anything. It was just kind of like a friendly talk is what it was like.
You have just seen our best advertisement, our customers. AMC dealers, where you get a good deal and a good deal more. AMC dealers present their best advertisement.
I've dealt with other car companies before, like you say, and you go back to have some work done on it, and they hem-haw around, and the job's not done right. But American Motors dealer in Tacoma, there's been no problems at all, whatever it is. You've got a problem with it, you simply call them on the phone, they give you an appointment, you shoot the car down there, and when they say they're going to have it all night, and you get a loaner, you get a loaner.
You have just seen our best advertisement, our customers. AMC dealers, where you get a good deal and a good deal more.
You've seen some of the exciting new products that we've got for 1973, and I think you'd have to agree. 1973 products are the most exciting we've ever had. You've seen the earnings statements, I hope, that American Motors in the first 9 months has made 99 cents a share, and that kind of earnings prompts this kind of publicity. Here's a copy of Business Week with Mr. Chapin and the Hornet on the cover, talking about the American Motors turnaround. That turnaround has occurred at the dealer level, dealer profits that are an all-time high. And I'd like to talk about some of the things that we've got going for us in 1973. I'd like to talk about them, about what they mean to you and what they mean to us. I think the first thing you'd want to know is, where do we stand for product in 1973? We're out of product in some dealers. We got it coming our way. We're going to increase the production schedule this year by 16% over the same period a year ago. We're going to get cars to you for the earliest introduction that this company's had in our history. We're going to introduce on September 14th. We'll be the first in the industry. We're going to do it the same day Cadillac. Everybody else will be after us. You've said in the past, why do we have to be last? This year, we're going to be first. And one exciting thing that's going to happen is in September, we're going to have a public statement that American Motors has passed for the first time since 1965, the 300,000 retail deliveries. That's something we've been trying to do for 5 years, and we've done it for 1972. We've talked about many subjects, and I apologize really for how much we've had to cover, but time is short, and I know your time is valuable. We've got a good year. For 1972, American Motors and its dealers will deliver over 300,000 cars. That's the first time since 1965 that we have passed the magical 300,000 barrier. It's something to be proud of. We've had buyer protection plan. You've made it work, and we've made it work. A year ago, we offered you on the 71s the excise tax rebate program, and we were able to get a jump on the rest of the industry. We came out in mid-year with a thing called air-conditioned gremlin. I think all of us underestimated how many customers would see that and appreciate that as a genuine value. We've now extended the buyer protection plan. You've got a new leasing program. Everything that is possible has been done to make 1973 an exciting year. If we go back to May, June, and July of this year, you are now selling cars at a 330,000 rate. That rate of sales would bring us within 13,000 units of the 1965. That year we sold 343,000. I'd like to charge each and every dealer to make 1973 the year that not only do we break the 300,000, the 325,000, but make this the year we break that 343,000 year and go for 350,000 cars in 1973. Have a good year and lots of luck.